CN says, federal prisons prep to move trans inmates as early as next week. But we'll see about that. The pushback against the Trump administration's plans is not just from the streets, it's also coming from within the federal government itself. NPR says, Arab leaders huddle in Saudi Arabia in pushback to Trump's Gaza plans. It seems like no matter what happens on our side of the border, the rest of the world has got its eyes on the situation too. NPR says a brief history of beards and baseball after the Yankees lift their no beard policy. We're not really sure what this has to do with anything else on the list, but we think it's kind of cool. NPR says Census Bureau stopped work on data for protecting trans rights, former director says, which is just another reminder of the ongoing fight for equality and human rights. NPR says judge largely blocks Trump's executive orders ending federal support for DEI programs. It seems like common sense is finally starting to prevail. But we know this isn't the end of it yet. NPR says federal judge hears arguments to decide the future of Trump's federal funding freeze, which is just another example of how our leaders are more concerned with politics than doing what's right for the country. NPR says NBC settles defamation lawsuit with doctor falsely labeled. It's not every day you see a network settle a defamation lawsuit, but when they do, it's often because someone got away with calling another person some pretty hurtful names. NPR says Trump fires the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, which is just one more example of the kind of behavior we've come to expect from our leaders. We're not really sure why this makes the list, but NPR says NBC settles defamation lawsuit with doctor falsely labeled. That's all for now. Thanks for keeping up to date on the latest news.